Welcome, dear students. Uh, for long time, I'm getting requests from many viewers that, if possible, kindly try to clear the doubts on very basic topics of genetics and plant breeding. Many viewers are requesting that they are medical aspirants, so they may get lot of help in clearing their doubts on these topics. And many of the viewers are requesting that those who are doing a BSc AG and have come from mathematics stream are getting lot of problem in understanding genetics and plant breeding. So I thought that let us address these basic topics also, which can help larger population, those who are aspirants of medical, as well as who are doing their BSc AG and have joined BSc AG after their mathematics +2 examination. So I'm trying to combine to help both the viewers. So if we talk about in those topics, this reproduction in plants is very important. If you talk, you have to try to understand this for understanding the genetics also, because you know that the father of genetics had worked on breeding pea crop, and after crossing and after observing their progenies, they could get something which became the principles of genetics. So you have to understand this, then you can go into the genetics very well. So as you know that what is genetics? Genetics is just development of new individuals. That is progeny, you can say. That is offsprings. Development of progeny, development of offsprings. New individuals you call. From the pre-existing ones. That is parents. The parents giving the new individuals progenies, offsprings. This is called reproduction. If you talk reproduction in plants, it is of mainly two types: asexual reproduction, where there is no fusion of male and female gametes for producing the new individuals. The sexual reproduction, where there is fusion of male and female gametes to develop the new individuals. So here you can see that what is the genetics behind it. How this is deciding the genetic makeup of the individuals, new individuals, if reproduction is through asexual means which type of genetic constitution will be there in the new individuals. If it is developed through sexual reproduction, what will be the genetic makeup of the offsprings or progenies or new individuals? Nature has given lot of scopes, lot of things. For keeping the balance of the nature, environment, I mean, has given everything. What is required, where it is required, is given by the nature. So we will discuss in later everything. Asexual means, you know that. Sexual means I have already described. We'll come in detail later on. But before that, we must try to understand some small terms which you know very well. But I want to try to explain in most simplest manner. Then I will be coming to this reproduction in plants. Pollination. What is pollination? You know the pollen grains. This is, you can say, male gamete, you can say. It is having male gamete. It is produced in the anthers. So transfer of male gamete or pollen grains, you can say, transfer of pollen grains from stamen to stigma. The stigma is the female part, the stigma. This total pistil, if you talk about, this is stamen. This is stamen, this is anther, full of pollen grains. If it is bursting, it is coming to, it is transferred from anther to, so transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. We call it pollination. So we will be discussing in more detail later on. So on the basis of mode of pollination, whether this transfer is by wind, whether this transfer is by water, whether this transfer is by insect, it depends. Crop to crop, species to species. But you know what is pollination? This transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. Then what happens? After some time, these pollen grains germinate on stigma and pollen tube goes to the, I'll be dealing later on. Keep it here only this much. Then come to, on the basis of type of pollination, you can say, we are classifying the crops in different groups. You see, cross pollination, where cross pollination is occurring, those crops are called cross pollinated crops. Where self pollination is occurring, we are calling them self pollinated crops. Where often cross pollination is occurring, we are classifying those crops as often cross pollinated crops. So you will say that what do you mean by cross pollination? What do you mean by self pollination? So if you talk about cross pollination, in those crops where cross pollination is occurring beyond 35%, you will say that how this cross pollination you are measuring, sir? Of course, you can measure it. This category, this classification is made on the basis of natural system, you can say, in the crops. What is natural system? Means you are leaving your crop as such, and then you are observing that how much cross pollination is occurring in your that particular crop. There is a method. There is a method that you grow side by side, you can say, different types of varieties. Then that will be dealt later on, but little bit I want to explain here also. And we are living as such. So we are putting a variety which is having a particular trait dominant in nature. Once the male parent, one male parent should be like that, is having some character which is dominant. Once it is pollinating your variety and seed is formed, and if you are growing, that is visible. That is coming that this is cross pollinated. So on that basis you are observing that how much cross pollinated seed you have obtained from this. So on the basis of that, you are going to say that how much percentage of cross pollination is occurring. So in those crops where more than 35% cross pollination is occurring, say for example in Gia maize, or you can say maize crop, you see, more than 35% cross pollination is occurring, because its nature is like that. The flower's nature is like that. That is promoting the cross pollination. So beyond 35% cross pollination is occurring in that. So these type of crops are classified under cross pollination. Then what is self pollination? Self pollination means the pollen grain of the same plant or of same flower is pollinating the stigma of the same flower, you can say. Self pollination. In case of cross pollination, the plants or flowers of plant is being pollinated by the flowers of other plants, flowers of other varieties. That is cross pollination. So self pollination, pollination is occurring within the same flower of the same plant or other flowers of the same plant. That is self pollination. So in crops where self-pollination is occurring, that is classified under self-pollinated crops. What are those crops? Particularly, you see the majority of the cereals, whether it is rice, whether it is wheat, whether it is barley, pulses, majority of the pulses, the gram, the pea, Bengal gram I mean, the pea. So majority of the pulses are coming in self-pollination, pollinated crops. But of course in self-pollinated crops, cross-pollination is also occurring because of the visits of the insects and others. So in crops where up to 5% cross-pollination, not beyond that, up to 5% cross-pollination is occurring, those crops are kept under self-pollinated crops. Like I have said, rice, wheat, barley, Bengal gram, pea and others. Now come to often cross-pollinated crop. Often cross-pollination. What is that? Where the self-pollination, or you can say the cross-pollination, is going beyond 5% up to 35%. Those crops are kept under often cross-pollinated crops. And if you see particularly the beautiful examples of often cross-pollinated crops, you see pigeon pea, you see Indian mustard, Brassica gentiana. Why it is coming into often cross-pollination? Whether self-fertilization is not possible in mustard or in pigeon pea? No, it is possible. Because it is bisexual. Both the crops are having bisexual flowers, where in the same flower, male and female, both parts are available. So in natural condition, if you leave, self-pollination will be occurring naturally. But you see what is happening there, because of the color of the flower of pigeon pea and this your mustard, which is yellow in color, which is attracting the insects. And particularly you see in the morning, if you see at the time of synthesis, lot of honey bees are visiting these fields. And honey bees are flying from one plant to another plant, from one plant to other variety to other variety. And because of the visits of these insects, the self-pollination, I mean cross-pollination is going beyond 5% in these mustard and pigeon pea like crops. But naturally it is not often cross-pollinated. But of course naturally it has become cross-pollinated because of the visits of the honeybees, particularly honeybees and other insects too, is going beyond 5%, going up to 35% cross-pollination. So these crops are kept under often cross-pollinated crop. So breeding strategy and genetic constitution of the offsprings of the progenies are depending upon these cross-pollination, self-pollination, often cross-pollination, and breeding methods for developing new varieties. You are deciding on the basis of these, as well as on the basis of asexual and sexual reproduction. These are coming in sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, we will be dealing. This also I will be dealing later. But I am trying to clarify the most frequent useful terms in this reproduction in plants. Now you come to heterozygous and homozygous. What is heterozygous and homozygous? You know that the locus, where you say that the gene is available, the position of the gene, that is locus. And on one gene, there are generally two alternative forms, that is called allele. So if there is a gene named A gene is having two alleles, capital A, small a. If a plant is having capital A, small a in its genotype, this is heterozygous. If a plant is having capital A or small a in its genotype, that will be called homozygous. Homozygous for dominant. This is homozygous for dominant. This is homozygous for recessive. I'm talking single gene. Thousands and thousands genes are there. Just to explain, I'm putting the example of single gene. If you're talking, it is having two alternative forms, dominant, recessive. For dominant, I'm putting capital. For recessive, I'm putting small. So capital A, small a. If this is the situation, this is heterozygous. If capital A is there, this is homozygous, dominant. If small a is there, this is homozygous, recessive. So this is the term you must keep in your mind, heterozygous and homozygous. Emasculation, you must put in your mind what is emasculation. You see, for artificial hybridization, what we do, what is hybridization? Hybridization means crossing or mating, you can say, between two dissimilar genotypes. Two dissimilar genotypes means two different varieties. We are making crosses between two different varieties. That is called hybridization. If it is occurring in the nature, naturally, this is natural hybridization. If you are doing it manually, artificially, this is called artificial hybridization. If I am willing go for artificial hybridization in rice, what does it mean? I am going to make crosses between two varieties. You know that both the varieties are normal. Say for example, HUR 105, this is one variety, Malvi 105. Swarna is another variety of rice. If I am willing to cross between these two artificially, this is called artificial hybridization. How we are going to do it? Because Malvi 105 is also normal, which is having the flowers. These flowers are bisexual. Bisexual, each and every flower is having male and female parts in it. If you are living as such, as I said that this is self-pollinated, you will get pure seed. Pure seed of Malvi 105. Pure seed of Swarna rice variety. If self-pollination is occurring. Of course, naturally self-pollination is occurring in these. So automatically you will be getting the seed of pure variety of Malvi 105 of Swarna. But if you are willing to hybridize it, what is hybridization? Crossing between two dissimilar genotypes, means two different individuals, means two different varieties, you can say. So if you are doing this, this is called artificial hybridization. For artificial hybridization, what is important? Pollination is important. And after pollination, fertilization is taking place. After germination of the pollen grains on the stigma. So what you are going to do? you have to make one variety as female, you have to make one variety as male. So the variety which you are making, say for example, I am willing to make my variety, the BHO variety, Malvi 105 as female, I am going to use it as female. And I am going to use Swarna variety as a male. So I am growing both the varieties nearby. And what I am doing in my BHO variety, Malvi 105, we are taking the flower and we are emasculating it. What is emasculation? The removal of male part from the bisexual flower for making that flower as female. Once you are removing the anthers of that flower, of all the flowers in the panicle of rice variety, if you are taking one panicle, no problem, hundreds and hundreds spikelets are there, flowers are there. You select few only and remove other flowers where you are willing to have the emasculation. You just cut and just remove the anthers. All six, there are 6 anthers in each flower. So remove all 6 anthers from each flower, that is spikelets. What is left? The pistil is left. The female part is left. Now it has become female. So your variety, Malvi 105, has become female. So this is called emasculation. You have removed the male part from a bisexual flower and your plant has become female. So removal of male part from a bisexual flower can be said emasculation. So you have done it. Then hybridization, I have already described the hybridization. Then the hybrids, of course, if you are crossing between two, if I have emasculated Malvi 105 and then I have taken pollen grains from where? From Swarna variety, and I have pollinated from that pollen grain. So now pollination is complete. This is called hybrid. I have bagged it through butter paper bag, this whole panicle where I have emasculated and pollinated. Now seed setting will be there. Within 24 hours there will be fertilization. And after fertilization you see the seed formation starts. And then after fertilization within 30 days your seed will be mature. You can harvest it after 30 days of pollination or fertilization, you can say. So the seed which you are harvesting from this hybridization, this is hybrid seed. This is hybrid seed. If you grow it, what is this? This is F1 hybrid. This hybrid seed is having the genetic constitution of 50% of Malvi 105 and 50% genetic constitution of Swarna. This is the hybrid. This is F1 hybrid. If your Malvi, talk about one gene, Malvi 105 is having capital A, and Swarna is having small a. For one gene, if you talk, the hybrid seed which you have obtained will be having capital A, small a. This is F1 hybrid. So hybrid is this. If hybrid is superior, then we release it as new variety, new hybrid. So this is F1 hybrid. So this is hybrid. Mule, you know that crossing of this hybridization between horse and, you can say, the donkey and horse has given birth to mule, which is sterile. but it is very hard, very hardy. Lot of utility is there of mule. Apomixis. What is apomixis? When I will be talking about asexual reproduction, the apomixis will come in that also. Here what happens? Seed is developed in the plant. Seed is developed, but without fusion of male and female gametes. This give birth to the seed, which is true to the type in genetic constitution of the mother plant. If mother plant is having capital A, small a, say for example you have made the crosses. If mother plant is having capital A, small a, if you are not having apomixis, what will happen? This capital A, small a, you have grown it. It is very superior, and once you have grown it, again there will be seed setting in that generation, and for seed setting there will be, pollen formation and ovule formation, and any pollen and any ovule is free to meet. So you are making, if it is self-pollination is occurring in self-pollinated crops, what is happening? Capital A, small a, capital A, small a. You are crossing between capital A, small a, capital A, small a. What will be the resultant of that? Those seeds what you are getting in F1 plant? Capital A. Some seeds will be having capital A 25%. 50% seed will be having capital A small. 50%, 25% will be having capital A. 50% seed will be having capital A, small a, and 25% seed will be having small a. This is the genetic composition will be there in the seed of that plant set in the F1 plant, and these seeds are known as F2 seed, and if you grow it, that will be giving you the F2 generation. So lot of variability is seen in F2 generation because of the segregation. That is why we say to replace the seed of hybrids every year by we say the farmers, you cannot use your hybrids as a seed in next generation because of this only. So he has to purchase the seed every year. Therefore, seed of hybrids every year he has to purchase. He cannot use the same seed because it will segregate in next generation. So in apomixis, if you see, if your hybrid which you have developed, if it is apomictic, if your hybrid has become apomictic, it means capital A, small a. The plant is capital A, small a. Once seed is formed without fusion of male and female gametes, seed will be having capital A, small a. So in next generation you are having capital A, small a. So heterosis is fixed. Heterosis is superiority of F1 hybrids. The capital A, small a is superior to both the parents, HUR 105, the Malvi 105 and Swarna. This hybrid is superior to both. This is called heterosis. The mechanism is called heterosis. So you see, if your hybrid is having apomixis, then this hybrid is superior to all other hybrids. Because in this case, farmers need not to replace their seed because the same hybrid can be utilized year after year because the seed is found without fusion of the male and female gamete. Same capital A, small a, capital A, small a, capital A. In every generation he will be having, there will not be any depression. So this is the thing which we call apomixis, how it is better in case of hybrids than non-apomictic hybrids. So heterosis you are fixing because of the apomixis. So these are the small terms I wanted to explain so that we can discuss in detail about reproduction in plants in our next lecture. Thanking you very much.